So before further moving, I'm just going to launch first pool question. So hurry up, students. So we are just talking about the dot notation. So here we just use the dot notation. With the help of this dot, we can just call the variable, whether it is character type variable or whether it is integer type variable. So our next example in the case of structure, that is the implement of structure within a structure. So heading is structure within structure. So structure within structure that is written in inside another structure is called the nested of two structures. So nested structure are allowed in C programming language. So we can write one structure inside the another structure as a member of another structure. So how we can use structure within a structure? Suppose again here we are just going to start a structure with struct keyword, and student is the name of structure. Here I'm just going to open the compound statement, and after that I'm just going to declare integer type variable. Suppose it's a roll number, and character type as name. Then after that I'm just declaring another structure, that is, suppose the name of the structure is date. So this is called structure inside the structure, because I'm not just close the first structure. Before closing of first structure, I'm just declared another structure. So that is the biggest example in structure within a structure. So here I'm just going to open this, and here I'm just declare one for date variable. Sorry, date is a variable and int is a type of variable. Here I'm just closing the structure. So first I will close the structure of this. So is suppose that is DOB, and write the semicolon. And after that just closing the upper structure. So I just declare the object here, that is specifically for date OB, that is for date object. And here I am just closing structure for first structure, because I already explained you, whenever we just close the structure, we just write on that time semicolon operator. So semicolon that tells the closing of the structure. So after that, I'm just going to start our main function. So main function, I already told you about that. There are two different way to declare the object. One way is this, another way is you just write the struct, that is name of the structure, that is student, and here as a S. So here S is a name of the object for this structure. Okay. Now next, suppose I'm just going to use clear screen function. Then after that, I'm just going to print F, that is for enter any name, and use scanf for input the value, because I'm just going to use string type value. You just use %s and s dot name. So with the help of %s, we can just enter the value of string variable, and here we just use dot operator. Dot operator, that is specifically for calling the data types. So now next is printf, enter any roll number. And then now with the help of scanf, I'm just going to, here we are using %d, comma s dot roll number. So here we just use two input values. With the help of scanf, we just use two variable, that is roll number as well as name. But we just still miss one variable, that is inside the structure. And now we just calling the particular that date of birth. So here I am just going to printf, enter any date of birth. Then after that I'm just using scanf. Then how we can use scanf? We just first call the first structure, because this inside structure that belongs from which structure? First structure, that is the student, because this date structure that belongs from student structure. So we just first call the student structure, means student object, then I will call this object. How? Suppose scanf %d, then comma %s dot dob dot dd variable, because dd is a variable. So with the help of this statement, we just call the variable of inside the structure. Then after that we just print all these values. So how we can just print the value? We just use printf roll number then comma s dot roll number. Then after that printf date is equal to %d comma s dot dob dot dd variable. Then use get ch for holding the output and close the compound statement for this main function. So this is a simple method. We can just say that how we can declare structure within a structure. So how it will run when we just compile the program, then compiler first goes to main function. It will check we are having one structure, then it will go to this structure, then it will check the name of the structure is student. Then we have two different type of variables. Then after that we have another structure. So that is the example of inside the structure. Here we just declare the structure, that is date. So date is another structure that belongs from this student structure. Then in date structure we have one variable, that is double D. So double D is a variable in the case of date structure. Then after that we just close this structure with the help of DOB object, that is D then OB. So this is a DOB object. Then after that we just close the structure for student class. Because there is two ways to declare the object, whether you just use this type of syntax or whether you just use this type of syntax for creating the object of a structure. Then after that we just enter the value, any value, we just enter the value with the help of user define. Then we just print the value, enter any roll number, we just enter the value. Then there is a slightly difference between main structure input value and inside variable structure value. So when we are just calling this structure or this data type, we need first to call this structure, then we will use this structure's object. How? Scanf %s, s is an object of student structure, and dot operator. Then after that DOB. So DOB is a object of structure date. Then after that dot dd. dv is a variable in the case of date. So this is a way to use our structure within a structure. Then after that we just print the value for structure. So now I'm just going to launch another cool question. To our next, that is array of structure. So next we have the array of structure. Array of structure. That means structure is used to store the information of one particular object. But if we need to store more than one object, then array of structure we use. So that means we just if we want in previous program we just enter the record of one student name and one student's roll number. But if we want to enter the record of n number of students, whether it is 2, 5, 10, 15, so on that time we use array. So how we will use array in this program? So I'm just going to start with struct, then name of the structure. Suppose I want to enter the n number of students. So n number of students, we just first declare the structure. So here structure is a keyword, then after that student. So before this, header files are there. You just write header files. Then after header files, we just write the structure. Then after that, we just open the compound statement for this. We just enter the roll number and name of a student. Then after that, I'm just closing the structure with S and passing the array here. Suppose 13. Okay. Then after that, I'm just going to start our main function. Then in main function, I am just going to declare one variable, that is I, or this I that is specifically for looping. So here just I am declared I, then I just want to clear a previous program output. For that we just use the clear screen function. Then after that I am just going to start our for loop where that is I 0, then I less than equal to suppose 10, then I plus plus. Then after that I am just going to open the compound statement for input the value. So here I am just going to write printf enter any roll number. Then after that input the value. So how we can input the value? With the help of scanf. So scanf %d, because we are just going to enter the decimal value. Then ampersand s is an object. Then I is a r for specifically for looping. Then dot rn is a name of the variable for that input the value for roll number. Then after that enter the name in the same way. Printf enter any name with the help of scanf %s comma ampersand s, then I dot name. Then after that close this for loop for input the value. So next that is we have to display the value. So how we can display the value? With the help of another, we are using another for loop for displaying the value. So here we just going to start our for I is equal to 0, then I less than equal to 10, or I plus plus. Then after that, start compound statement and going to print the value for roll number, percentage D, using slash n, that is specifically for next line, and S I dot rn, and close the function for printf. Then same as it is for name, percentage S and si dot name variable. Then close the for loop for this. So this is a way to declare the array, and after that we just want to hold the output screen. We use getch for that and close the structure for, or sorry, close the compound statement for main function. So this is all about the array of structure. Here we just declare the structure, and here we just passing the array object to the array value to this object. Then after that we just use for loop. Then it will first enter any roll number. If we want to enter the roll number, we just enter the roll number with the help of array, where S is the name of the object and I is a for loop, that is specifically for number of values, how much number of input you want to be entered. Then after that rn is a variable that run up to where our for loop is working. So after that, same as it is for print name, that is specifically for name, and same input for name variable. Then same process, this is for input the value, we have to display the value. So this is a for loop for display the value, for displaying the value. So here we just use one for loop that is specifically for printing the value. Here we just use the printf for printing the value, and printf for printing the value for name as well as for roll number as well. Then after that we just close the compound statement for this for. Then after that, using getch for holding the output screen. Then after that, close this compound statement for main function. So this is all about the array of object. Okay, repeat. So this is all about the array of structure, where we just declare one struct keyword. Struct is a keyword we use, and name of the student, name of the structure, that is in a student. And this is step-by-step procedure I just explained. So our because when we are using printf scanf, on that time we use header files, that is hash include std io.h. when we are using printf and scanf. Console is same, include conion.h, that is console input output, that is same whether we are using C++ programming or whether we are using C programming. Or when we are using C++, on that time we use include iostream.h. Then we use cout for input, printing the value, and cin for input the value. Okay. So in this program, we use the printf and scanf. That is why we use stdio.h. We just discuss structure and union is a part of C programming language. So our next topic is pointer to structure. So before going to start pointer to structure, I am just going to launch another cool question. So I'm just going to launch first another cool question. So I'm just going to share the result with you. This is all about the this whole question. Correct answer for first question is yes, and second that is specifically for size of C structure is a total write off of all elements. So now I'm stop sharing the screen. Sorry, result. So okay, students. This is all about the structure and union part. One topic is still missing. We will discuss this topic pointer to structure in our next lecture. So, okay, thank you, students. Okay, thank you. Bye and take care, students.